Alrighty guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video where we're gonna talk about some of the upcoming banners that are gonna be dropping very soon to global default, starting in January and then going into anniversary, which will be in February. Now, there is a good amount of banners, but we're not going to go too crazy in depth about them. The reason why I am making this video is because I want to make sure that everybody knows what is going to be coming up here in January and into February, into anniversary, because I want to make sure that you guys plan out your resources, because the great thing about global is that global has foresight, so you guys will be able to see what is going to be coming up in like the next 7 to 8 months, because that is how far JP is out at the moment. So with this video, we'll pretty much be like looking over the banners that got released in JP, and these are going to be the banners that should be releasing in January and into anniversary for the month of February. So, and of course, you know, I am making this video now, but things could potentially change. So, you know, just a disclaimer, like what I'm going to be talking about right now in this video could potentially change. So please do take a note of that. I don't want anybody to come back to this video and be like, hey, you said that this is supposed to come out at this certain time, and now they're coming out with something different. Remember, global default tends to change up a whole lot of things that JP has done. So please make note of that, and don't come back to me and being like, oh, like you said this and that, etc, etc. So but yeah, I wanted to do this video especially for those who like to pull plan for the future and whatnot. I want to go ahead and let you guys know like what you could potentially see for the month of January and then going into anniversary in February. Now, I'm not going to be covering December's content because the global community live stream is going to be happening very soon. So, of course, we're going to be covering all of the stuff that is happening in December in a separate video as the week progresses. So, like, if you are wanting to check what banners are going to be coming out in December, I will link this website, which is the Ultima website that a lot of JP players use, a lot of content creators uses it as well. I'll make sure to link it down in the description of this video if you want to check out the December banners. So, but we're gonna go ahead and start off with the January banners. Now, as you can see on the screen right now, Jack Garland is going to be coming to global, or at least to, you know, according to the JP timeline. He should be coming out into January, or at least towards the end of December into January. Now, you know, a lot of players at the time, ever since Strangers of Paradise had released, you know, a lot of players that Jack Garland was actually going to be coming out on global, but it actually came out on JP first. You know, people were asking, could we get it early? No, because like it was part of the story chapter that is going to be released for the release of Jack Garland's banner. So like that was going to be like almost impossible for them to be able to do that. So Jack Garland is going to be a very hyped up character. He is still insane even up to this point, even though he does not have FR Echo. Like, he is still very much a viral character, a very strong character, and even though he doesn't have FR Echo, we could still use other characters FR Echoes on top of his FR ability to be able to increase the HP damage bonus. So I mean, there's not really any issue there. Like, I just uploaded a video showcasing how Jack Garland is currently in the game, paired up with Iris and Core, and I mean, the man's doing just fine. Like, he is gradually just destroying things at ease. So Jack Garland should be coming up into the end of December or into the beginning of January. So as you can see, the two banners right here, the first one featuring his entire kit with the returning of the LDs of Cyan and Rajan, which is actually a pretty solid banner in my opinion. The other one is going to be Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is going to be getting his force enhancements, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember if he gets a rework or whatnot. I don't believe that he does. So we are going to assume that his kit is just going to be reran, and then the returning LDs is going to be Steiner and Yida. So not too bad of a banner for that one, but definitely the Jack Garland banner featuring his entire kit is a much stronger banner compared to the other one. So more than likely, I mean, I think possibly almost every single global player is probably going to be pulling for Jack Garland. Jack Garland is a beast, and he does it very much well. Afterwards, Beatrix is going to be getting her FR weapon. Now, Beatrix FR is pretty solid in my opinion. I wouldn't look past Beatrix's FR. If you take a look, if you go over to the City of Compendium and we search her up real quick, Beatrix FR ability, at least like her conditions and whatnot, is that whenever a party member except for Beatrix uses a thunder ability, I mean, like, we have plenty of players that is plenty of characters, excuse me, that is able to thunder enchant, so that's not an issue. And this also includes off-turn triggers as well, so that's not bad. So that's an easy 5% on-turn and off-turn as well. 20% increase whenever Beatrix uses a thunder ability, a 30% increase whenever a party member's turn passes with 12 or more party buffs. So yeah, the conditions are very much easy, and also whenever you do have 12 or more party buffs, the party gains additional HP damage up and an HP damage kappa, which is nice. So overall, it's a solid FR in my opinion. The other banner is going to be featuring Lightning's kit. Lightning does get her force enhancements, and I do believe she does get a small rework, but don't quote me. Actually, let me look, because now I'm actually curious myself. This was actually the time where Lightning actually got her when I decided to go ahead and BT plus Lightning. So yeah, Lightning does actually get a rework as well. Honestly, the only reason why you would probably, like, you know, green Lightning, or if you wanted to, you know, go all out and like max her out and whatnot, would be because, like, she's a favorite. Like, I've had her uses since I did BT plus her. I made sure that I did my very best to try to use her in as many Shinryu fights as possible. Yeah, I mean, like, when it comes to her kit and everything like that, you know, there's definitely room for improvement. So hopefully later down the line they will actually give her that whenever Square decides to give her an FR. But as of right now, I think she's alright at most. I don't think she's really anything to brag about, but she's alright. She's an option, but she's like an option where, like, you may not be using her all that much. But on both banners, though, you do have the returning LDs. You do have Young's LD, Beatrice's LD, and then Lightning's LD and whatnot. So afterwards, we do have Rydia. Now, Rydia's FR is actually pretty good in my opinion. I feel like some players may actually pass up on Rydia, but like her FR ability is actually not bad. Like, I don't think it's bad, and a lot of players, like, you know, like in my like circle of friends and whatnot, or in my Discord server, could probably they do agree that, like, her FR is actually not that bad. So when it comes to her FR ability, a 20% increase whenever a party member except for Rydia selects a water ability. If I am not mistaken, I do believe that Rydia party what do you call it? She does party water enchants. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, she does. So, like, that's an easy 20% right there. A 50% increase whenever Rydia uses a water ability, and a 50% increase whenever a party member evades an attack. Now remember, Rydia is able to grant a buff where it is a no turn buff. The only time that it will actually disappear or go down in stacks is whenever you actually evade an attack. So that is an easy 50% increase whenever a character is able to evade an attack. And her LD, I believe, has like three or four users, one of the two. So I mean, like, you definitely have a good amount, and plus you do have other characters that do provide evasion as well. Like, I've seen, there is one Japanese player that I do follow on Twitter that uses Rydia and Edge together, and Edge is able to provide party-wide. He does have self-evasion and also party-wide evasion, and of course, well, Rydia is able to provide that as well. She also has it so that she also inflicts a debuff, if I'm not mistaken, which makes it so that the enemy is also able to miss as well. It does have a built-in defense down and a 20% HP damage resist down, so that's additional damage you'll deal onto the target, and that debuff lasts for 5 turns. So yeah, it's a very solid FR in my opinion. It's one I'm probably going to chase for again because I honestly thought that it was pretty good. On the other banner, you have Firion. Firion does get reworked as well. Like, he does get a rework and of course force enhancements and whatnot, which is great. I do not believe that he does get a rework for his BT effect, so that still remains the same. So overall, like, his base kit, you you know, like LD, EX, skill 1 and skill 2, that does get reworked as well. So overall, pretty solid banner. I will probably be pulling for Rydia's FR again because it's actually a good FR. Next up, which is going to be part 2 of the story that we get at the time in January. We do get the return of Onion Knight, and we also have Iroha, who is going to be getting her BT weapon. Now, Onion Knight, he does get his FR. It's not a bad FR in my opinion. I haven't really had the time, not really the time, but like I really haven't had the chance to actually give love to Onion Knight. But Onion Knight does get a pretty decent rework in my opinion. Like, he definitely gets more HP dumps, which I feel like he has been missing from God knows how long. So I'm glad that they decided to give him that. He also does get a BT rework, which is great. Definitely something that he definitely needed as well for his FR. The conditions, his FR ability actually does provide party ice enchant, which is fantastic. A 40% increase whenever the previous turn was an ally's turn. A 20% whenever a party member except for Onion Knight selects an ice ability, and then a 30% whenever Onion Knight selects an ice ability. So not too bad of a conditions. They're not too bad to actually meet with it. So Onion Knight's FR, I would say it's not I don't really think it's like an FR that is like, you know, you need to go like crazy ham for. But I do think it's an alright FR, but again, I don't really think it's like one that you necessarily need to go for. When it comes to Iroha, her BT, from what I remember, her BT makes it so that you basically get a fixed HP damage. But the thing about that fixed HP damage is a little bit different compared to like some of the characters who already offer it to teammates. So whenever a party deals the last HP attack of an ability, they get the additional fixed HP damage. Now, depending on the amount of stacks that you have on Iroha's BT effect, which does have a maximum of 5 stacks, will equal the amount of fixed HP damage that you actually get. So you get a 20% to start off, and then you can go all the way up to 100% of current HP damage cap. So, yeah, I mean, like, the additional fixed HP damage is nice and all. It would have been great, in my opinion, if it was on every single HP attack. But for it to only be on the final HP attack, it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess, like, yeah, it's nice and everything like that. But, like, you know, it definitely could have been better. I did use Iroha a good amount because I did actually like the effect that she offered with her BT effect, but like as we progress through the game and everything like that, and with the release of newer characters, I kind of feel like she kind of got a little bit overlooked, at least for like for myself. So like I would say like it's not like entirely like necessary to get her BT or to even like chase for it. It's definitely not a bad option in my opinion. But I would say like it's not really a BT that I would definitely like go too crazy for in my opinion. Next up is gonna be Machina. Now, and this is of course during the Iroha BT cycle. So Machina gets his FR, and I'm gonna tell you this: Machina's FR is definitely a very good FR for a couple of reasons. So first off, with his FR, it does have instant turn rate, and then whenever you are using a melee ability, you get a party HP damage up and HP damage cap up. And if I remember the percentage correctly, I do believe that it is actually a pretty high percentage. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, 50%. So, and this is for the party, and this also includes off-turn triggers. So as long as you use a melee attack, you can take advantage of that easy free 50% HP damage up and HP damage cap up. That is really good in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the conditions, a 5% increase whenever a party member except for Machina uses a melee ability, and this also includes off-turn triggers. A 25% increase whenever Machina uses a melee attack, and this also includes off-turn triggers. Now remember, Machina has 1 to 2 off-turn triggers that he can actually activate. So yeah, the possibility of getting that easy 999 for Machina's FR, depending on how you have your team comp set up, the fight and everything like that, I mean, it's very much possible. You can easily get some very good damage out of his FR, while his FR is active. A 40% increase whenever a party member uses a ability change from a Brave / HP attack. This is definitely more so for Machina, but of course there are plenty of characters that do have a change Brave or HP command. And then a 15% increase whenever a party member uses a non-normal turn rate ability. This is definitely Machina for sure, especially whenever you use his Furious Blade Burst attack, because that pushes him back in the turn order, so he'll easily be able to get that 15%. So this FR is definitely more so for Machina. You can use other characters to be able to meet some of the conditions for his FR, but I would say it's definitely more so for him. So his FR is a very good one, and it's a very good one to actually have. And then overall, like Machina in general is like a fantastic character. Like, he is definitely a beast. He did not get a rework with his FR, and in my opinion, I didn't think that he needed one, because he is already strong as he is now. So now to get a powerful FR as his, that is more so for himself, I mean, yeah, it's definitely an FR to go for. Fusoya is the character for, or the other character that is going to be new for January. Now, Fusoya, in my opinion, is actually a solid character. I don't really think that he's a character that you need, but he is actually a pretty good character. So one of the big things about him is that he is able to inflict paralysis. The thing about this paralysis, though, and the way that he is able to work with that paralysis, is that he is actually able to extend all enemies' active debuffs by 2 turns if you have it maxed out and whatnot. So, and that also includes the paralysis. So in a way, like, for whatever debuffs that he inflicts and whatnot, I mean, you can easily extend that paralysis debuff for God knows how many times that you're able to do so. And it's actually pretty cool, and a pretty neat mechanic that he does have in his kit. He does have some pretty good party auras as well. His damage output is actually pretty solid as well. So he overall, I think that he's not a bad character. He's a fun character to use 100%. So I don't really think he's bad whatsoever. When it comes to his FR ability, with his FR, it provides Brave gains up and HP heal based on the HP damage dealt. A 30% increase whenever a party member's Brave regen occurs at the start of turn. A 30% increase whenever a party member, except for Fusoya, attacks a debuffed enemy. And a 40% increase whenever Fusoya attacks a debuffed enemy. I'm probably going to pull for his kit again. I do think that it's I think that it is a pretty solid kit that he has overall. Like, you can actually do some crazy shenanigans with him as well. Not really crazy, but like, you can have some fun times with Fusoya 100%. Kirin also gets released alongside, or is the second banner that gets released with Fusoya, and I can't remember if he does actually get a rework or whatnot. Let me see. Oh, he does. Okay, so he does get a rework with his with Fusoya, with the Fusoya event, which he does get like more HP dumps and whatnot. He does get a couple things fixed on him, or some things increased in his kit. So overall, not too bad. He does get force enhancements and all that good stuff. So yeah, not too shabby, not too bad of a character in my opinion. Now, if we keep on going, there was like a 10 million download commemorative banner that released. I'm not sure if that's going to be released on global or not, but this features Renoa's FR and Arden's FR alongside with their BTs. So I'm not going to go into that banner because, you know, like I said, I don't know exactly what's going to be happening with that. Now we'll take a look into the banners for February. Now, the first banners that should be appearing at that time, and again, you know, things may change, so, you know, a little disclaimer on that once again, is going to be Ashe's FR and BT release, and then you also have Laguna. His BT is going to be reran as well in the other banner. Now, Ashe's FR and BT, they're not too bad. I really haven't really given Ashe too much time, or really like too much usage. I have seen other JP players who upload their runs on YouTube use Ashe you know, somewhat of a decent amount, but like overall, like she does get a pretty good rework. Her FR is not too bad. A 20% increase whenever you use a Thunder ability or a Holy ability. Remember, Ashe is able to party enchant both. So that's an easy 40% there. And then a 20% whenever a party member has at least 4 buffs at the end of their turn. So you can easily get about a 60+% increase when it comes to these FR conditions. The other thing is going to be her BT. Her BT, aside from like the party auras that she actually does get, when it comes to like party brave damage up, brave damage cap up, any HP that is not used is actually going to be converted to brave, or enemies are unable to grant buffs. So it's kind of like something similar to Vincent's BT effect. And then also all enemies cannot gain brave, which is going to be something later down the line whenever Kurosame gets his BT weapon, because he has that in his BT effect. And then the other stuff is going to be additional brave damage cap up and then HP damage cap up. And then of course the biggest thing about her BT effect is that she actually gets a follow-up attack. Now this follow-up attack has 3 HP dumps in total. And then this actually triggers after attacking an enemy while her BT effect is active. So, so that's additional 3 HP dumps that you can actually get on top of whatever other skills that you got going on. Now, this BT effect only lasts for 6 turns, which in my opinion, for Ashe's kit, I do feel like it's a little bit short. I do wish that it was at the minimum 8 turns, but that's just me. Of course, everybody else will have different opinions on it. But in my opinion, I would say Ashe's kit is actually a pretty solid kit. I mean, the rework that she actually gets, more HP dumps within her overall kit, her EX ability now makes it so that you actually now have true Thunder and Holy Enchant. So it does actually combine with other elements, which is great. It's something that I can definitely appreciate now, because like being able to add on top of the other one or combining with other elements is fantastic. The other thing is going to be her LD. Her LD is now able to recover 1 use of a skill 1 and skill 2. More brave potency, is able to provide buffs to the party when it comes to like magic attack up, physical attack up, max brave up, additional like, buff reworks and all that good stuff. So I would say like her kit overall, pretty solid in my opinion. I don't think like it's something like that like you need, but I would say that her kit is overall not too bad in my opinion. Laguna, I do believe, also gets a rework. Let me check that out real quick. Let's see here. So yes, Laguna does get a rework with the event, which is going to be the Spiritus Ramu event. So of course you do get your force enhancements for Laguna. You do gain, or he does gain additional HP attacks within his kit, so not too bad. And then his follow-up attack now deals 2 HP dumps, which is nice. And, just like buff or auras and whatnot, also gets reworked within his kit. So not too bad. If you have Laguna Green and whatnot, you're pretty much going to be getting a free upgrade. So not too bad of a banner overall. I may or may not pull for Ashe's kit this time. I'm not 1000% sure what I want to do. I still have to give Ashe a little bit more. I have to give Ashe a little bit more love to make my decision before I decide to do so. The next banner that should be appearing after Ashe's release is going to be Sice. Now I know Sice is a favorite for a lot of players. So Sice's FR is actually not that bad, at least for like my taste. So when it comes to her FR conditions, whenever the FR is active, whenever dealing weakness damage, party gains a HP damage up and HP damage cap up, which if I'm not mistaken is 50%. So it's similar to Machina's increase, HP damage, or the percentages for while his FR is active. So they are very much similar. The conditions. Whenever the party member uses a dark attack, which does include off-turn triggers, it increases by 5%. Zande would actually be pretty good as an LD call ability to use here, especially if you're going to be using off-turners as well. And then a 40% increase whenever a party member's turn passes with a leveled buff or special effects. So special effect meaning like an overhead or something like that, then it increases by 40%. So not a bad FR. She does get a rework, and it's only going to be applied to her LD ability, and that is it, which extends the trap debuff that triggers the dark whirlwind, the dark tornado that attacks the enemy. It actually gets extended to 15 turns. So yeah, you are gonna have a lot of off-turn damage with Sice with that small little rework that she actually got. So I'm probably going to pull for her FR. It's a pretty solid FR in my opinion. I did enjoy using Sice. I think Sice is very much a solid character overall. The other banner is going to be featuring the twins. The twins do not get the FR with this banner. They do get it later down the line. But the twins, I do believe they do get like a rework or something like that, so I'm not gonna go too much into it. But like overall, some solid banners. We have the return of 8 LD, Sice's LD, and of course the twins LD and that. Next up is going to be Strago or Strago, however it is that everybody pronounces it. So he actually gets his FR, and then you also have Y'shtola, who I do believe gets force enhancements and a rework. The returning LDs, Strago, Y'shtola, and Italian. Now, Strago's FR is not bad in my opinion. I do believe that my good friend Stimpy uses FR a pretty good amount. He does get a rework and whatnot with his with the Heretic event, where he does get his FR. And then when it comes to his conditions for his FR, it does inflict break to all targets, and it also excludes broken enemies. And the good thing about this is that for it having 3 HP attacks, it does reset all targets break status after each HP attack. When it comes to set conditions, a 20% increase whenever a party member selects a magic ability, 40% whenever a party member except for Strago breaks or attacks a broken target, and a 60% increase whenever Strago breaks or attacks a broken target. So some pretty good percentages to be able to increase the HP damage bonus. And it says here, while the FR is active and you are breaking or attacking a broken target, you do get that party HP damage up and HP damage cap up, which is 50% once again. You're gonna notice that this is gonna be like a pretty common thing when it comes to the auras that, the party-wide auras that set FRs give out. So, not too bad of an FR. I may pull for it. We shall. We'll see. We'll see. When it comes to Y'shtola, she gets force enhancements and whatnot. She does get a rework, and in my opinion, it was a pretty good rework. I do believe I did a showcase showcasing her rework and whatnot, and I mean, she gains more party auras. Not more party auras, but she actually gains her self auras and whatnot gets increased by a pretty good amount. Her stone ability is now 4 HP dumps, and then when it comes to her LD ability, brave increase and whatnot, all that good stuff. So not too bad. I'll probably give my force enhancements to my girl Y'shtola, because that is my girl. Next up is going to be Transcendence 13, which, again, you know, things might be subject to change. But Dark Knight Cecil is going to be getting his FR and BT. The other banner is going to be featuring Cloud. Cloud does get his force enhancements, and his BT is going to be reran. The returning LDs of Leon, Dark Knight Cecil, and Quistis, and the other one featuring Cloud's LD, Orin, and Sync. Now, Dark Knight Cecil, he's actually good. Like he definitely got the juice in terms of like damage and whatnot. Like his skill 1, 6 HP dumps. Skill 2 is 4 HP dumps. His EX ability now does 5 HP dumps, excuse me, with more splash damage after each HP attack. His LD ability gains an additional use and deals 6 HP dumps. So like, yeah, some very good numbers that you can get out of him. Excuse me. When it comes to his FR ability, it does consumes 30% of the party's current HP, so that's one thing to know for anybody who does not know about Dark Knight Cecil. Like, his kit pretty much like consumes his own HP, but now it's going to be affecting the party even more with his FR and his BT, which we'll get into in just a second. While active, whenever the HP is less than 100%, party HP damage up and HP damage cap up, which is 20% for that one. So it's actually not the big 50% that we have been having for the for some of the past FRs that we have been talking about. When it comes to the conditions, 20% increase whenever a party member selects a dark ability, 30% increase whenever a party member has less than 100% of HP at the end of the turn, and a 30% increase whenever a party member has less than 50% of HP at the end of their turn. So not too bad. Again, like, you'll be able to actually meet these conditions easily, and as long as you have some strong defenses to be able to block any incoming HP attacks, then you'll be just fine. Or if you can evade attacks, that works too. Excuse me. Yeah, they're not too bad of FR conditions to actually meet, and here is why. So his BT, which lasts for a turn. So his BT basically makes it so that after any field turn, all enemies HP poison by 400% of Cecil's attack, and then party HP poison by 40% of Cecil's attack. So basically, the enemies are going to have a much stronger HP poison that is going to be affecting the enemies, and then we are also going to get affected by an HP poison, but it does not count towards, let's say, meeting an HP requirement for beating the fight. So you don't have to worry about that. The other stuff is going to be, because it is a stackable BT effect, is party brave damage up, party HP damage up, party HP damage cap up, and then party HP heal by 20%, 40%, or 60% of the HP damage dealt. And then at BT plus, the enemy's HP poison gets doubled. So that means that they are going to be taking a whole lot more damage, and we are still going to be remaining at that 40% of Cecil's attack. So not too shabby on that. And then we also gain some additional party brave damage cap up. So like, and his the thing about it his what you call it, his HP poison is that, if I'm not mistaken, it does not actually get affected by the force time, which is kind of a bummer. It would have been fantastic if it did, but because of that, it it may actually deter some players from actually pulling for his kit. Or be pulling for his BT, but like, in my opinion, on top of like the overall damage that he already does, and then you can have that HP poison in the enemy, I still do think that his FR and his BT is very much worth pulling for. Cloud, he does get a rework as well, and if I remember, one of the reworks that he actually gets is that his LD ability now becomes instant turn rate, which is kind of funny. Yeah, it is. He does also gain some personal increases in his self auras. His EX gets increase as well in terms of potency and whatnot, and then he does get some other reworks on his kit as well. So overall, for me being an FF7 fanboy, I mean, like, Cloud is instantly going to be getting his force level enhancements for sure. So overall, some very strong banners in my opinion. Then afterwards, we do have Kuja, who's going to be getting his FR and whatnot, and of course his BT gets reran, and I do believe his BT gets a rework. Now, I did the crazy thing of actually BT plusing him on my JP account, and yeah, I was not really too overall impressed with what he actually got, because this rework, he gains an additional use on his LD. He gets some of his self auras messed around a little bit, so he gains additional percentage when it comes to the elemental weakness brave damage up, and then party HP damage up by an additional 10%, not being 20. And then when it comes to his BT effect, all they added was a 20% HP damage cap up, and that's about it. So it's not really anything to brag about. So yeah, it's not yeah, I was not too impressed about that. And then when it comes to his FR conditions, so 20% increase whenever a party member selects a holy ability, he is able to party holy enchant, so you ain't gotta worry about that. 30% increase whenever a party member except for Kuja attacks multiple enemies, so just use AoE skills. And a 50% increase whenever Kuja attacks multiple targets, aka use AoE skill. And then while his FR is active and you are attacking multiple targets, you do get an increase in the HP damage up and the HP damage cap up, which is only a 10%. So yeah, it's not really all that. I was honestly not impressed with what he actually got. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, yeah, I was not impressed, guys. Like, honestly, I would not waste your time. And I'm sorry to those who are fans of Kuja, but like, no bueno. We do have a Dimensions and Support banner that released featuring Tidus's FR and Gabram's FR and their BTs. I'm not going to be going over that just because, again, I don't know what Global's going to do about that, so we're going to have to wait and see. And then finally, the second to last banners that we're going to get into before we jump into the banners that are going to be pretty interesting because it's going to be the introduction of FR Echo to Global Default. We do have FF7's Jessie. Now, Jessie, the only reason why I pulled for her, but I don't really think that she is honestly like a character that you really need to pull for, is because she's FF7, and I told myself I would pull for every FF7 character that releases in default. But basically, what she actually provides is like she provides turn manipulation and whatnot. Like, she is able to basically like move around characters behind her and whatnot, you know, so on and so forth. So it's just basically just messing around with like the turn order and whatnot, and that's pretty much like it. That's pretty much like her main gimmick, and that's about it. She does have some party orders and whatnot, etc., etc. You know, nothing too crazy to brag about, but that's about it. But I'm probably still gonna pull for her kid in Global, just because, again, FF7. But she's not really a character to really go too crazy over. When it comes to her FR conditions, a 20% increase whenever a party member selects a ranged attack, 20% increase whenever party member's turn is manipulated, or a party member delays an enemy once per turn, and a 40% increase whenever previous turn was an ally's turn. So not too bad conditions, in my opinion. But like I said, when it comes to her FR, it's excuse me, when it comes to her kit overall, I would say like you could probably hold off on not pulling for her kit. So and again, this is just my opinion. Of course, you don't have to follow every single thing that I say. I'm just kind of, you know, throwing out there my experiences with said character. The other banner is going to be featuring Snow, which his BT is going to be released, and if I'm not mistaken, does he get a rework of some kind? No, he does not. So all Snow is getting is pretty much going to be force enhancements, and that's it. So yeah, rip Snow. Rip the Snowflow. I don't know. I to be honest with you, I have not seen anybody really go too crazy ham on the JP side when it comes to the whole like Snowflow mechanic and whatnot. And finally, we get into the last banners, which should be towards the end of Anniversary, going into March, which is going to be the Garnet and Terra banners. Now, these banners are going to be special because they are going to be the introduction of FR Echo and FR boards. Now, if you're wondering, what is FR Echo? What is FR boards? Well, FR boards are basically going to be additional boards that you need to unlock using enhancement points, which I know is a big shortage for a lot of free-to-play players. But with these FR boards, they give you the ability to be able to use your FR ability while another FR is already active. So what happens is that the color icon for your FR ability is going to change from blue to like a teal looking color, like a greenish looking color, and that is the indication that a character has the FR boards unlocked and you can actually use said FR ability. Now, it does consume one use. It does consume said use every time that you use it, which you do have a max usage of 2. The great thing about FR Echo, but at the same time, it is also very much overpowered as we get more characters getting their FR boards unlocked, is that it does not decrease the action value of the current FR ability that is active. So let's say if your current FR ability is at 8 turns and you use a Garnet's FR ability or her FR Echo, then it is going to remain at 8 turns and you will gain whatever percentage it is that you are able to get after you use her FR Echo. So yeah, it can be pretty nasty how high you can actually get the HP damage bonus, and like what crazy shenanigans, what amount of HP, additional HP attacks that you can deal to the enemy. Like there's like so much crap that you can actually do with FR Echo. It's insane. And like currently right now in JP, FR Echo is probably one of the most broken things we have at the moment, and it's no wonder like you know, the devs at JP Square Enix are trying their very best to come out with like, you know, different boss fight mechanics and all that good stuff, you know, ways to be able to you know, try to, or not really ways, but like trying to increase the amount of HP that the bosses have, so on and so forth. Like they're trying their best, but like we have so much power in our hands, it's crazy. Garnet's FR, which because, you know, she already has a BT and all that good stuff. So when it comes to her FR ability, so her FR increases party's brave by 100% of max brave, deals split HP damage, and then while you do have her FR boards unlocked and all that good stuff, it deals 4 HP attacks, and if you don't have it unlocked, then it just deals 3. When it comes to her FR conditions, a 30% increase whenever party member selects a thunder or a water ability. Remember, Garnet is able to enchant the team with either of the two. A 20% increase whenever a party member, except for Garnet, restores Brave to the party, and a 40% increase whenever Garnet recovers Brave to the party. So overall, not too bad FR conditions. Her FR, in my opinion, is pretty solid, and especially with her being one of the first characters to have FR Echo and all that good stuff, you know, it's not a bad FR to actually have in your arsenal. The other character who is going to be getting messed around with is going to be Terra. Terra does get a rework and all that good stuff with the release of FR Echo and all that good stuff. And then when it comes to her, when it comes to her FR and all that good stuff, so her FR with FR boards unlocked and whatnot, her FR attack will deal 5 HP dumps, which is pretty crazy. And then, as you can see here on the Cydia Compendium, you're going to notice the EXT. That is going to be extension, which is pretty much going to be the FR boards. So a 40% increase with extension whenever Terra selects a magic ability. So previously it was 20%, but with FR boards it'll be 40%. And then a 40% increase whenever a party member uses an instant turn rate ability. Previously it was 30%, now it is at 40%, so not too shabby. So overall, like, not too bad, not too bad FRs in my opinion, but more so you may or may not be using it, you know, to just spam FR echoes and whatnot and all that good stuff. So not too bad. I'll probably pull for, at the minimum, the FRs, since I already have Garnet's BT. I'll get her FR and you know, just go crazy with FR echo like I have been doing in JP. So but yeah, guys, other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much, like, I guess, like me semi-covering all of the banners that are going to be released in January, going into anniversary, and then towards the end of anniversary as well. So hopefully with this video, I'll kind of give you an idea of what's going to be coming up later down the line, so that way, you know, if you are trying to save your gems and whatnot for anniversary, in case there is anything that releases for global DFFOO, then you know, at least you know what's coming up ahead of time, so that way you can plan out your resources and all that good stuff. So but other than that though, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.